Hello, Virgo, and welcome. I'm Jessie. This is Playful Moon Tarot. So grateful to have you here. This is going to be a general reading for the full moon that we're having in Aquarius on August 1st at 11:31 Pacific Standard Time. And I do want to read a portion of the Sabian symbol, not the whole thing, but this just kind of gives us the energy of overall what this full moon is bringing for us on a collective level as well as on an individual personal level, and kind of the theme about the energy. So, a popularity that proves ephemeral. The word is appropriation. The theme is the swinging of the pendulum. Symbol speaks to having courage to move forward even when the going gets rough or when it seems there is no appreciation of effort or accomplishment. The image of popularity that proves ephemeral alludes to the inevitable downfall or personal rejection that every individual will experience in some time of their life. The implication is that success is the actual greatest point of challenge in any experience, and the average person is inclined to rest on their laurels when he hears applause, while the individual with foresight knows that the pendulum will swing in the other direction. There is just a real call with this full moon to really stay focused on ourselves, on our belief systems, on being our own best friend, being that kind of cheerleader for yourself, and realizing that things just kind of come and go, right? Things kind of come in our life and go in our life. And kind of also is asking us, why do we do the things that we do? Do we do it because we love it, or do we do it because we have to? So the tarot cards that are coming out for you guys, the energy that you guys are moving away from, this Hanged Man. I feel recently you guys have really been taking pause to take a note to see how things have really been showing up in your life and how it has been affecting you on a spiritual level, on a emotional level. I really feel like you guys have also been paying attention to your daily routines, your health, your habits, things around the home, really staying, focused on your gym goals. You might waver here and there, but there's been this kind of energy around really staying focused on your health, your fitness, your goals, where you want to see yourself, and in the workplace too. And with justice, kind of the energy, the bigger energy it's going to be kind of surrounding you around this time is really balance. Really being asked to balance out your energy, balance out where you're spending time. If you've been working too much, maybe this moon really wants you to kind of take a break, take a rest, take a pause. Really try to find some balance within your workspace, within your relationships, and where you're putting and giving your energy. And Strength card. With any of the changes taking place in potentially work or anything like that, really just know that you have the strength to kind of overcome these challenges. I feel like for some of you, this is going to be emotional. They're really giving me emotions right now as something that might be coming up for you that's really going to kind of challenge you guys and really going to just rely on you to tap into your inner strength to kind of overcome and know that you can work with these energies that are intense and that it will lead you to better things. There's going to be a little bit of a transformation. They're just saying for some of you, there's going to be a transformation, and the emotions that come up for you around this time are really just little clues, right? Like, as to where the universe wants you to pay attention to, the things that need to change, the things that need to be released. Full moons are about releasing or celebrating things that have kind of come to an end and releasing it, or really highlighting areas that we need to work on, that haven't been, necessarily addressed the way that our soul would like us to address those certain things. And really, the time of the full moon with the energies getting really intense, it's kind of like they're just saying, pay attention to us, pay attention to us. But I really feel like for some of you guys have really been trying to kind of integrate some new things, really kind of working with some of these newer things that you guys have been working towards, and really starting to see some results. This Temperance energy on the Hanged Man. So this lets me know that you guys have really been trying to find that balance, really been trying to work that. Like, there's just such a balance between the Hanged Man trying to find perspective and balance. I feel like the energy off of that card. Temperance, trying to find balance. Okay. And then with the Justice card, there is just this real sense with you guys that if you guys have been working too hard, that it's time to kind of take a break. If you guys haven't been working towards your goals and you guys kind of been slacking a little bit, it's time to kind of step it up and work a little bit. That's just the energy that they're giving me right now in this reading. But I feel like for some of you guys really have embraced some of these new things, daily changes around the home, changes in the habit, changes in the workplace, and really kind of working with these new energies, integrating them, feeling them out, kind of seeing how they're falling into place and how these new ways of being can have a more positive impact on your life. Starseed. For some of you guys, I feel like this is going to be kind of a smaller group of you guys, so sorry, bear with me for a second. But for some of you guys that are drawn to this reading, you guys have some starseed lineage that's going on. And I just recently was kind of called by my guides to do a message from your guides that actually ended up being a little bit more in regards to starseed souls, kind of really activating some of these starseed lineages that are bringing in this new way of being. And so for some of you guys, this looking at things in a different way, I feel like it's your soul kind of remembering some of the old ways. And not that we're going backwards, but there's this sense of wisdom. And there's also a sense that there's some of the old ways that we need to implement now. Not all of them, but there's some old technology and old things, old ways of being, old ways of living in the balance of nature that I feel like we are really being called to embrace. And I feel like for some of you guys that have this, I mean, we all have starseed lineages, but some of us are just a little bit more open to that. That's just my personal view and how I believe. If you don't resonate with that at all, just take this part of the reading kind of off the plate. I'm almost done. We all, in my personal belief, have some type of like a starseed lineage. Our soul is so big, it's hard to put it into one body. And I feel like with how expansive this universe is, our soul has been to different galaxies, different planets, and we integrate that into our being, and it gets awakened in us when it's time to kind of implement some of those other things that we did in some of those other lineages here and now, bringing in that golden dawn, right? That golden light, that golden time of existing, okay? There's just a sense of a need to change. We are on the precipice of change, and change can be really messy, but then things can kind of get smoothed out. Or it doesn't have to be super messy if we can all kind of come to the table, agree to disagree where we need to disagree, and move forward where we all need to move forward for the benefit of everybody. I feel like there are parts of you that are being activated, and with Aquarius being the sign that kind of represents the masses and humanity and what's good for the whole, I feel like there is a small part of you that is drawn to this reading that is really embracing some of these things that have been coming to you in downloads during meditations, integrating. Maybe some of you guys have been meditating and getting messages from your guides that way. Keep going. And sorry, I will leave it at that. So 3 of Crystals, Justice, really balancing things out. There's just a real sense of just balancing and balancing and balancing. If you haven't been balancing, this is your time that the full moon is going to be like, balance. If you have been practicing in that, then it will be more of a celebration feeling. 3 of Crystals. This is just, really about community. Really, like this 3 of Crystals energy is really about staying focused on your community, giving back to your community in a balanced way, and really relying on your community and also building a community. So there's a few different energies around this. For some of you guys, you have a strong community. You guys are integrating and like integrating these new things within your community, and like these new ideas, you're sharing them at the table and they're being well received. For some of you guys, I feel like you guys are kind of doing creative projects with your community. And for some of you guys, I feel like you are working on continuing to build the community. Like some new members have kind of come into your community that's more in alignment with where you're at now. And you're kind of really staying focused on attracting more of those people to you. The moon is also on the Justice card here with the Three of Crystals. Really holding space for yourself during this time. And I feel they just really want me to say to celebrate your accomplishments. Really, this moon card right now, they really just want to highlight the fact it came out that this person that's like these people, or it could potentially be the same person just dressed in different dresses. But there's a celebration for some of you that's been doing the work to really like celebrate with your community. They're just showing me that basically there's just a dance that's happening underneath this full moon. So for those of you that's really been doing the work lately, there's just this real call to celebrate. And for those that haven't been doing as much work or hasn't been as committed, there's just a sense to really get committed, get back in touch with, what you are building, the community you're building, the relationship within yourself that you're building, and really see this as a time to celebrate this new way of being for you guys, these new ways that are coming in. Really try to take it as a celebration point. I feel like for some of you, you guys are a little bit sad about maybe some of the recent changes. Maybe you guys recently needed to say goodbye to a friendship, or you realized that a friendship wasn't working, something like that. Or maybe you realized that the job wasn't giving you what you wanted, and so you switched. But there's just a sense that allow these newnesses to come in, allow the newness of the chapters to really get embraced. See it as a potential. It is an ending, but it's also a beginning at the same time. And some of you, I'm not trying to call you out, it's just that my guide is some of them are just really kind of still stuck in the grief process, which could potentially be hard around a full moon because it really will illuminate that. So if you find yourself really struggling emotionally around this full moon, ask for support. That was the other thing they wanted me to say, is that if you're not celebrating and dancing, then lean on your community for support. Maybe you should go and have dinner with some of your best friends or something. Okay. Something like that, finding support around this full moon to help process some of these bigger emotions that have come up for you guys. Because with this 10 of Swords, this strength, they're just saying it's really time to release those things that have kind of been holding you back, or, putting a damper on your potential. We all get into those spaces. We all kind of have those moments where we press the pause button and crawl on ourselves. There's no judgment. There's just a sense of now it's time to release that, because full moons are all about releasing things, really releasing the things that have been holding you back, really relying on your strength, right, to release it and to embrace the newness, but also relying on friends. But with the Strength card, it is kind of this they're showing it as this real true inner strength of embracing it, but that doesn't mean that you have to do it alone. But it is your responsibility to decide that that's what you want to do. 10 of Swords. Release it. I mean, it's pretty much at the 10 of Swords point, it's pretty much gone and is kind of really coming to a close. And if you are still hanging on when the 10 of Swords shows up, it just means that you're really having a hard time letting go. And it really can be mentally draining on you. You could potentially be really fatigued and really having headaches or, just mental stresses, things like that. So really self-care. If you need to rest, okay? We don't always have to be doing work and inner work and everything all the time, okay? Sometimes we just need to rest and just turn on the TV and turn off our brains and just rest, right? Or not even watch TV and just stare at the wall for several hours and rest. Knight of Wands. Really getting in touch with where you guys are going in a passionate manner. What brings you joy? What do you enjoy doing? That's also a theme of this full moon is, Aquarius is its own unique light. It really likes to shine its own unique light. It likes to encourage others to shine their own unique light. Where you guys are going might be really different than where you were before. Why do you do certain things? Do you do it because you have to, or do you do it because you love it? really moving forward, releasing the things that you don't want to do anymore or that are not bringing you joy, and really embracing the things that bring you joy. That's a real big theme for you guys, going after the things that you want to experience because you like the experience of doing it, okay? Having jobs that you like because you like doing that job. It doesn't matter if you would get paid to do that job or not. There's just this real energy of doing it because you love to do it and you want to be in that energy, right? In that situation, in that whatever, because it brings you joy no matter what. So the three love notes that I pulled from Fox Under the Moon is I am able to forgive. So any place that you need to forgive, I know forgiveness always feels about the other person. It's not. It took me several years to realize that forgiveness was about giving myself permission to have closure to the situation. Not everybody can provide us closure, okay? So forgive yourself and forgive others where you are being called. And I always have it in me to shine. I feel like for some of you that might be really struggling or might not feel like, you're super up for the task right now, you have it in you. Just rest when you are tired. Don't quit. Just rest, okay? Rest and release. And when we release the things that no longer serve us, we go through that purging, and then we really feel that reprieve and that, like, okay, the weight has been lifted, right? There can be grief that comes along with that weight being lifted, but nonetheless, that weight is gone. And every situation is temporary. So when you're feeling the feels, when you're really feeling it, just know that you can move through it. It's not meant to last forever. It's just meant to give you some wisdom as you move through into the next chapter. So hopefully something in that message resonated. If it did, please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, love yourself, trust yourself, and believe in yourself. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Happy full moon.